everyone, it's Sarah and welcome to my crochet channel. Today's video I'm going to show you how to crochet the Happy Heart headband. It's really easy to make once you figure out how to make the heart section and how to do the repeats. You're really going to love this pattern. It's very classy and cute. And remember, hearts aren't just for Valentine's Day. You can make this in any colors that you want to for any time of the year. Now, this is a free crochet pattern on my blog, and you can find that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. To make a Happy Heart headband, you're going to need 2 or 3 different colors of acrylic yarn, medium weight, number 4. This yarn here is the Red Heart with Love Sparkle, and this is just your Red Heart Super Saver in the cream. And I used the sparkle for the edge of this one as well. What I'm going to be doing for our demonstration today is making my hearts with this lavender, using this light pink for the trim, and then this white for the trim around the hearts. So I'm going to be using 3 colors just to show you how you can do that. But you don't have to use 3. You can use 2 colors if you want to. But you do want to make sure you use 2 colors so that your hearts will stand out. You're going to need about a total of 3 ounces of yarn, or 1 ounce of 3 different colors. We're going to be stitching today with our eye hook, and the eye hook I'm using is a 5.50 millimeter crochet hook. You'll need a needle to weave in ends, and then you'll also need your scissors. The written pattern for the Happy Heart headband has 3 sizes. You have a child size that measures about 16 inches, a youth size or medium, which measures about 18 inches, and then you have an adult size that measures about 20 inches. And remember, it's a very stretchy headband, so you don't want to make it too big. But I'm going to be making the smallest size and then explaining to you the difference in the medium and large size. I'm starting with my lavender because we're going to be starting with the hearts first. Then we'll do the trim around the hearts, and then we'll do the edge trim on the headband. If you're making the largest size, which is the adult size, you're going to need to chain 87 chains. If you're making the medium size, which is the youth size, you'll need to chain 75 chains. If you're making the child size, which is the smallest size, you'll need to chain 63 chains. And I'm making the child size. The one that I showed you is the medium, and the one that I'm making for our demonstration is the child size. So I'm going to chain 63 chains. So I'll begin with my slip knot, and then I'll chain 63 chains. And I do recommend that you chain this initial chain just a little bit loose. I've chained my 63 chains. And of course, if you're doing the medium or large, you're going to have either 75 or 87 chains. We're going to begin by stitching 1 double crochet in the 6th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what we're going to be doing is stitching the top of the heart bumps along this edge. And now we're going to stitch 3 more double crochets in this same chain that we stitched this double crochet. So yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, and go through the second 2. All right, so now we have our chain here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets. We're counting this as a double crochet. I know that normally it's a chain 3, but because we want it to lay nicely, and we're going to be joining when we get back around, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to skip 2 double crochets, 1, 2, and then we're going to stitch a slip stitch in the next. So we go in, pull up a loop, and then pull that loop through the loop on our hook. This is our first heart bump. Now we're going to skip 2 and stitch 5 double crochets in the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to skip 2 and stitch a slip stitch in the next chain. And now you'll see that we have 2 heart bumps. So we have the first 2 heart bumps for our first heart. Now we're going to continue to repeat what we did here. Skip 2, 5 double crochets in the next, skip 2, slip stitch in the next. So here we slip stitched, skip 2, and 5 double crochets in the next. Skip 2 and slip stitch. Skip 2 and 5 double crochets in the next. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip 2 and slip stitch in the next. And now we have 4 heart bumps, enough for 2 hearts. And we'll continue this working all the way across our chain. Making sure we got enough double crochets. Each heart needs to have 5. I should say each heart bump, because you're going to have 2 heart bumps. Whoops! All right, skip 2 and slip stitch in the next. All right, looks like I got a little bit of a tangle there, so I need to fix that. But you're going to continue across, stitching your heart bumps, and you'll have 2 for each heart, working across your chain. I've completed my heart bumps, and for the small size, you're going to have 5 sets, or 10 bumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which will get me 5 hearts. For the medium size, you're going to have 6 hearts, or 12 heart bumps. And for the large size, you're going to have 7 hearts, or 14 of the bumps. Because remember, it takes 2 of the heart bumps to make 1 heart. All right, and so here are my 5 sets of heart bumps. You're going to end in your last stitch with your slip stitch. Now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn our work, and we're going to be working down that chain, making the points for our heart. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to place 4 triples, chain 1 and 4 triples in this slip stitch in the center between the first two heart bumps. All right, so we're going to put 2 wraps on our crochet hook. We're going to go in that slip stitch between the first 2 bumps, and we're going to start first with stitching 4 triples. So we're going to do 2 wraps, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, go through the second 2, yarn over, and go through the third 2. So that's 2 triples. There's 3 and 4. So we stitched 4 triples. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to stitch 4 more triples right in that same space, right in that slip stitch between the first 2 humps or heart bumps. All right, there's 3. We'll do 1 more. There we go. And it's going to get a little snug in there, and that's okay. And then we're going to slip stitch in the space between the next 2 heart bumps. So slip stitch. And let me show you. That's upside down, of course. So let's turn it over so you can see that it makes a nice heart. And we'll repeat this on each one of these sets of heart bumps. All right, so there's my slip stitch. So we're going to go 2 wraps, go in the next slip stitch between the 2 heart bumps, and stitch 4 triples. There we go. 2 wraps, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, second 2, yarn over, and third 2. And we'll do this 2 more times. Chain 1, and then we'll do 4 more triple stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we'll slip stitch in the slip stitch between the next 2 heart bumps. All right, so let me turn it over again so you can see. There's 2 complete hearts that are made. And so we'll repeat this working across our hearts. And remember, 5 hearts for the small, 6 hearts for the medium, and 7 hearts for the large. I've completed the bottom of each of my hearts. This is my last triple stitch. I'm going to join to the 3rd chain of my beginning with a slip stitch, and I'm going to chain 1. All right, now this makes a lovely headband just like this. All right, we're going to turn it over, and we're going to join to the last double crochet of the heart bump with a slip stitch. We're finished with this color, so we're going to go ahead and cut our yarn off, but we're not going to tie off because we're going to join in our next color. All right, so here's our headband, and it's all ready for our next color. I'm going to use this creamy white color, so I'm going to bring that in. And we're going to be working across the tops of our heart bumps first. And then when we complete that row, we'll do the bottom of our heart bumps next. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is stitch a double crochet right in that stitch where we joined. All right, now we're going to stitch a half double crochet in the next stitch. And then we're going to stitch 1 single crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to stitch a half double crochet in the next stitch. Go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 3, and then we're going to stitch a double crochet right in that slip stitch between the heart bumps. And now we're going to stitch a half double crochet in this next stitch. We're going to stitch a single crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, 3. We'll stitch a half double crochet in the next, and a double crochet right in that slip stitch in between. And there's our first heart. Let's do another one. All right, we've already got our double crochet. We need to stitch a half double crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, 3 single crochets, half double crochet in the next, double crochet in the slip stitch in between, half double crochet in this next stitch, which is hiding on me. There we go. Oops. Single crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Half double crochet in the next, and double crochet in that slip stitch in between. All right. So let's take a look at how it looks. And what we're doing is we're just sort of filling it in. It's still going to have a little bit of a hump shape, but it's still going to be filled in nicely. So we double crochet, then half double crochet, single crochet in the next 3, half, double, half, single crochet in the next 3, half, double, half, single crochet in the next 3, half, double, half, single crochet in the next 3, half, double. And we'll continue this all the way around the top of our heart. So half double crochet, single crochet in the next 3, half double crochet, and double crochet in the slip stitch in between, and we'll continue to repeat this all the way around the top of our hearts. I've completed all the tops of my hearts, working all the way around. My last stitch here is a half double crochet because we began with the double crochet. We're going to join to the top of that double crochet with a slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 3. And what we're going to do is we're going to move to the bottom of our heart like this. Bring it up. Bring your yarn through. Now, I do this so that I don't have to cut and reattach my yarn. And this is on the inside of the headband. But if you want to tie that off and reattach, you certainly can. All right, so I'm going to turn my headband so that we're working on the front of the heart. We're going to begin with a triple so that we can stitch across into that slip stitch between the hearts. So 2 wraps, we'll go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, go through the second 2, yarn over, and go through the third 2. All right, so now we have our 4 triple stitches down here. We're going to stitch a double crochet in that first triple. We're going to stitch a half double crochet in the next. We'll stitch a single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And that brings us to the chain 1 space in the point of our heart. And so we're just going to stitch a single crochet in that chain 1 space. And now we're going to work back up doing these stitches in reverse. So we'll do a single crochet in the next 2. There's 1 and 2. We'll stitch a half double crochet in the next, a double crochet in the next, and that brings us to the slip stitch in between the hearts. And we're going to stitch a triple, and we're going to go all the way up here where we stitched the double crochet between. We want to match that up, so we'll go right in there and stitch our triple. And what this does is it makes it so that there is this whole line so that our heart has white or whatever color that you're choosing here all the way around our heart. All right, let's go to our next heart. Here's our 4 triples that we stitched. So we're going to stitch, let's see, here's our first one, a double crochet in the first one, a half double crochet in the next, a single in the next 2, 1 and 2, single in the chain 1 space, then we'll move back up, single, single, half double crochet and double crochet. All right, here's our triple, double, half, single, 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 half, and double. And that brings us back to the center of the next, between the next 2 hearts. So we'll stitch our triple, we'll go in that spot where we stitched that double crochet, and stitch our single. So now we have 2 hearts. All right, let's do one more just to make sure that we understand how to do the bottom of the heart. Here's the triple in the slip stitch. We're going to stitch a double crochet in the first stitch or the next stitch, a half double crochet in the next, a single in the next 2, 1 and 2. That brings us to our chain 1 space where we're going to stitch a single. And now we'll stitch a single in the next 2, 1 and 2. Half double crochet in the next, and double crochet in the next. And then that brings us to the slip stitch in between the next 2 hearts. So we're going to stitch a triple, making sure we stitch in the same spot as that double crochet. And there you have it, another heart. And you just continue to do that on the bottom of each of your hearts, working all the way around your headband. And when you get back, here's my last double crochet, here's my triple. I'm going to join to the top of that triple stitch, and I'm going to tie off. I'm actually not going to tie off, I'm going to cut my yarn because I'm going to be bringing in my last color. But before I do that, I want to show you, let's turn it over. This is what the back looks like back here. You'll notice there's a little bit of a space there, and when we tie off, we can close that up, so don't worry about that. But of course, this is the small size, so I have 5 hearts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, if you're doing the medium size, you'll have 6, and if you're doing the large size, you'll have 7. And this is how it looks at this point. And again, this makes a lovely headband just like it is. But we want to add one more row, and it's just going to be single crochet across the top and across the bottom. Actually, this is the top and this is the bottom. And we're going to do this just to help it lay better and fit better and look nice and neat. So since we finished on the bottom, I'm just going to go ahead and bring in my third color. And if you want to bring back in your lavender or whatever color you're using for your hearts, you can. Remember, the colors are up to you. All right, so we're just going to go in each of the stitches around, stitching a single crochet all the way around the headband. One single crochet in each of the stitches, working all the way around the bottom of the headband. We'll do these stitches all the way around, and then we'll join back to our single crochet. I've completed that row of single crochet, and of course that's across the bottom because that's where we ended. And so I'm going to join to my first single crochet with a slip stitch. I'm going to chain 3, and I'm going to move to the other side of my headband and bring that chain 3 up and join up here to the first stitch. Now again, I like to do the chain underneath because it eliminates having to have extra ends to weave in. It's a way of carrying up your yarn without it just being a string. And so I'll do 3 or 4 chains depending on the size that I need, and then I'll join up here, and that's going to be held tightly when I come back in and weave it in anyway, but that eliminates extra weaving in. All right, and so now that brings us back to the front, and we're going to single crochet around the top of our hearts to finish off our headband. 1 single crochet in each of the stitches, working around the tops of the hearts in our headband. You will notice that it will not be a flat, or I should say even headband. It's still going to have some shape to it. And I kind of like that. I like the way that it lays. I think it's very pretty and different. Let me show you. See how that kind of moves around just a little bit? I like that. So now I'm just going to continue to stitch 1 single crochet in each of the stitches, working around the top of my headband. I'll join back to the first single crochet, tie off, weave in my ends, and my headband will be all finished. I completed that last row. Single crochets. I'm going to join to the first single crochet, and we're going to tie off. Alrighty, so here is my headband. Perfect for a cute little baby girl or toddler. And we're going to take these ends and of course weave them in. So here's our completed small size Happy Heart headband. Here's our medium size. The small has 5 hearts, the medium has 6, and then the next size up, the large, will have 7 hearts.